Welcome to HFY Sci-Fi channel. Don't forget to subscribe and explore. Crates groan beneath chain tension, yet a tall Celt trader heaves a bruised, blue-skinned girl onto a rust-stained dais. Price cracks across the bizarre air. 2 bottles of rum and a boiled egg, cheap currency for a life. Bronze dusk slides through patched tarps overhead, staining smoke plumes the color of dried blood. Stall lamps buzz, casting shimmering pools on grime's slick stone. Grease, clove, and sour citrus mingle with ozone from arc welders gnawing at scrap hulls. Vendors chant bids for memory chips, cracked reactor rods, saltfish. A pet hyrax skitters over pipes, tail twitching at each hammer strike. Currency clinks loud, yet laughter lands harder, sharp, heartless, feeding on humiliation. Value here runs by taste of liquor and boil of water. Sunset light flares on the girl's shackles, turning bruises to indigo glass. She stays silent, eyes wide but razor steady, tracking exits rather than faces. A spasm ticks at her jaw each time clangor spikes. Crowd jeers stack like iron plates, but her back stays straight, chin locked at half height, defiance gutted yet alive. Dust collects in medical cuts. She does not flinch. Worth measured in yoke and cheap rum. Roan, 38, former Hull Forge mechanic. Calloused palms squeeze his last tool pouch as he stalls mid-step. Breathing slow, he studies chain links, observes micro-tremors in her wrists, calculates load stress. Market roar softens around him, replaced by pulse roar in his ears. He moves. Boot soles knock wooden steps. Trader pivots, scent of pipe tar staining breath. Roan lifts an empty hand. I buy. No flourish. Just grit. Trader snorts. Saliva speckles sand. Payment first. Rum bottles slap countertop. A boiled egg rolls leaving faint steam. Pouch of instruments lands beside them. Spanners, micro arc pen, copper braid, everything Roan owns. Trader's laugh rings like cracked bells. Keys jangle, cuffs snap open, girl stumbles. Shackle rings hit stone with dull thunk. Roan kneels, loosens frayed wire clamped to her ankle. Fingers work quick, surgeon precise. Chain drops away. No crowd noise reaches her, only hiss of escaping breath as weight lifts. He lifts a dented canteen. Water drips across split lip, she swallows without blinking. Easy, he says between heartbeats. 1 clause. Enough. Sharp whistle erupts behind cargo stacks. Trader's guards alerted, boots heading this way. Girl's eyes dart, throat twitches. Roan tugs canvas cloak around her shoulders, motions toward maintenance archway half hidden by plasma-cut hull plates. Hiss of arc torch drowns their footfall. They dive through curtain of sparks. Tunnels slide cool and narrow, lit by dying green bulbs. Condensation taps metal ribs like impatient fingers. Echo bounces, making distance slippery. Girl's bare feet slap rhythm. Roan keeps pace despite heavy tool sash now missing weight. Torch hum fades, replaced by hydraulic sighs deeper in port veins. He guides her to a side niche where steam vent warms stale air. Bandage cloth tears free of his sleeve. He wraps her wrist. She watches stitches in fabric weave more than his face. Silence stretches, not empty but tense with questions neither risks voicing. Compact cooking stall hums nearby, unmanned. Roan cracks access latch with belt pick, door shivers open. He sets pot onto coil, pours broth from sachet, stirs with broken hex key. Girl's chin tilts, nostrils flare at broth aroma, ginger, kelp, faint bone salt. Steam paints freckles on her cheek. Wooden spoon trembles between her fingers, clinks bowl edge as first sip lands. Muscles at her shoulders loosen a degree. Roan bites ration bar, hands second half to her. Fingers brush, static snap, they withdraw. Next bite lands easier. Hydraulic door far back slams. Guard voices echo, metal dragging. Roan kills heat coil, broth quiets. He lifts a salvage tarp, exposes narrow service chute descending into coolant trenches. Girl glances down dark shaft, then back to corridor light, weighing trust. 1 beat. She nods. Roan drops first, boots scraping ladder rungs. Smell of iron mold rises. Hand reaches up, she grips. Descent swallows them. Generator chamber at bottom throbs slow like a heart. Cables pulse orange, casting moving bars across their faces. Warmth radiates, low hum steady, almost maternal. Girl settles atop crate, pulls cloak tighter, stares at glowing conduits. Roan scavenges spool wire, pockets 2 insulated clamps, old reflect. Footsteps overhead fade. Air grows still enough to taste copper. She opens mouth, voice a rasp. Name is Liss. 1 clause. Roan nods. Roan. Silence folds back over them, thicker yet softer now, broken only by generator breath and faint slosh in coolant trough. Steam drifts past like spirits leaving. Outside, bazaar drums call last bids, yet down here rum and eggs hold no power. Only warmth, shared food, 2 strangers bound by a single unfair price, and the question of worth still burning bright in shadowed eyes. Steam vents hiss high above market gutters, yet laughter slicing through copper dusk hits harder, teeth bared and wet with mockery. A bruised price just paid. Rum, egg, every tool a mechanic owns, echoes like a slap across steel walls. Rust-red banners whip in crosswind, their knot phrase snapping popcorn crack. Tar lamp glare coats cobblestones with oily glare. Spilled sugar cane liquor sweetens stale sweat reek. Cut wires spark on bulkhead seams, firing stray blue arcs that sizzle into night air. Cargo cranes groan, chains squeal, iron dust drifts down like ash. Clamor churns free market chaos into one sour brew of want and wager. Beggars shuffle under tarp awnings, palms cupped for salt chips. Gaudy courtesans advertise neon lashes near shocked tourists. Card dealers slap hollow tiles, chasing glitchy fortunes. Port PA speakers bark lost freighter notices in cracked synth voices, rhythm broken by static tick. Guards, breastplates etched with reptilian runes, patrol on clattering mech stilts, scanning heat signatures. Every soul here knows cost per kilo, per breath, per mistake. Liss, 14, former scrap forge apprentice. Roan's jaw muscles twitch as he scans alley mouths, gauging distance to sewers. Fingers brush cloak draped round Liss's shoulders. Quick reassurance. Lantern glow paints her swollen wrist a green-gold sheen. Fresh bandage holds. Child's gaze darts, finds one route. Service ramp past coolant drums spitting neon coolant onto gravel. She points. Roan nods once. Shared wrench clanks loose great bolts. Clatter draws startled glance from spice merchant 3 stalls off. Grate lifts, groans, settles against wall. Iron smell sweeps up dark shaft. Roan lowers canvas pack first. Rations inside now nothing but half biscuit and rust-flecked water flask. Liss descends ladder, bare feet curling round rungs, silent as soot. Roan follows, pulling grate closed with cable hook just as trader's guards pivot toward empty dais. Sewage runoff drips rhythm on pipe flanges, echoing hollow thuds. Fluorescent strips blink weak pastel teal, strobing corridor. Liss studies pipe joints, notes corrosion bloom. She taps one, listens for pitch shift indicating partial clog. Roan unclips plasma pen from belt, hot tip sizzling rust. He scratches quick path map onto duct skin, arrow chain pointing toward maintenance hub. Hushed mercy slides in small gestures. Roan offers last ration biscuit. Liss breaks crumb, passes half back without words. Cloak hem cleans dried blood off forearm. He tightens bootlace for her like older brother might. Liss tilts head, jaw relaxes, breath steadies. Crack in tension reveals possibility of trust. Minutes churn under pipes. Duet of competence grows. Liss signals 3-finger count, then rams elbow into burst valve. Coolant pressure drops, masking heat trace their bodies produce. Roan pries vent fan panel, exposes wiring. She splices red to brown, repurposes fan motor into kinetic jammer. Grating squeal from deck above halt. Patrol sensor array stalls, losing lock on fugitive. Conversation stays clip. Exit? Roan asked. Liss, north sump. Dry culvert. Distance. 500 strides. Words end, work resumes. Beats of silence carry more weight than sentences could. Warning klaxon blares topside, auction blockade triggered. Footsteps pound plating overhead, metal vibrates like angry drum. Liss jerks hand, signaling urgency. They race, splashes marking path through knee-deep gray water, eyes adjusting to shifting gloom. Dim glow ahead reveals ladder climbing toward hydraulics bay. Roan takes point. Steel door at ladder top bears Dominion triangle seal. Roan plants crowbar, pops latch, winces at squeal. Door opens onto cavernous bay where grav sleds sleep on charging rails. Sodium lamps bathe chassis rows in tiger stripe shadow. Hum of induction coils throbs steady bass. Cool air smells of ozone and machine oil. Guards shouts boom along tunnel mouth behind them, echo layering threat on threat. Roan yanks power coupler from sled 2, spark shower, engine windings scream. Loud report masks their boot falls across graded walkway. Liss scrambles beneath sled, fingers dance over coolant loop couplings. She twists 290°, sets internal pressure spike timer, improvised flash flare to blind pursuers. Door crashes open, armored boots stomp in. Jet of white-hot vapor roars under sled, washing bay in blinding glare. Guards curse, helm optics fry. One fires stun bolt wild, bolt fizzles against steel beam. Roan grips Liss's hand, sprints toward freight lift platform shuddering at far wall. Lift cage rattles downward just as steam-whitened bay dims behind. Descent hum settles nerves, sweat cools in stale shaft breeze. Metal cage lands soft on rubber blocks, doors creak apart, revealing sub-level storage deck blanketed in quiet. Generator exhaust glows faint amber through floor grates, a slow heartbeat. Warmth strokes chilled skin. Roan guides Liss to stacked cargo netting. She sinks onto coil of rope, shoulders easing. Ambient silence thickens, shaped only by distant fan whoosh and gentle clink of settling chain. Broth packet scent lingers in memory. They share last water sip. Pale maintenance light bathes scene, enough to outline cautious smiles trading between mechanic and girl. No laughter hovers here, no price tags. Only calm pulse of hidden engines and fragile alliance born inside rust and risk. Blood beads turquoise across grimy gauze. Liss unhooks a metal shard from her elbow, studying lattice glow as though pain denotes nothing. Grain pattern whispers secrets to her eyes. Roan watches disbelief bloom. Sodium lamps cast dusty saffron cones over storage deck, shadows stretching like hungry cables. Exhaust vents wheeze tired rhythms, draping air in warm diesel and ozone perfume. Far overhead, cargo lifts slam shut, rattling bolts loose enough to drizzle rust flake. Electric humidity hugs skin. Coolant trickles through grate seams, chiming faint lullaby against iron. 4 levels down, cavernous sump pumps gargle midnight blue sludge, each burp shaking catwalk rails. Glow strips blink amber white Morse. Faulty contacts spit sparks that pop like pepper seeds on hot steel. Forklift engines idle somewhere left, exhaust vapor drifting into draft tunnels. Machinery feels awake, restless, curious about fugitives hiding in belly of port. Darkness beyond lamp halos hints at maze of ducks, chains, promise, and pursuers. Galley smell wafts from canister stove Roan rigged. Buckwheat broth, dried algae ribbon, 2 carrot slivers liberated from vendor crate. Steam paints copper sheen on Liss's cheeks. Tension eases half step. Footsteps drum above. Shift change clamor. Loud world unaware hope germinates below. Vic, 42, former or hall rigger. Cargo net sags as towering man approaches, grease tattoos staining knuckles. Vulcanized rubber boots stop short, one eyebrow lifts seeing child's wound cleaned with scarce antiseptic. Roan's chin lifts but words stay holstered. Vic's gravel voice, trader shouting bounty topside. Short sentence, 1 clause. Roan snaps needle from stitch pack, Liss guides shard into his palm. Fingers probe cobalt alloy. Grain oscillates under touch, faint hum tickling bone. She murmurs. Quantum entangle grade, phase locked. Roan stiffens. Port rumors spoke of lost dominion resonant metal, currency for freedom if forged right. Liss sketches equations on oily floor dust using bent cotter pin, symbols coil fractal precise. Vic squints, sees potential tools not shackles. Inciting mercy blooms quiet. Roan slides ration crumbs toward Vic. Big man returns gesture by unlocking panel hiding med steel coil, nodding approval. Partnered competence flares. Roan sparks portable arc pen, Liss holds coil steady, Vic steadying vibration with massive palm. Three strangers forge sliver into ring-shaped harmonic key. Pulse thrums at sub-audible frequency, rattling wrenched nerves. Trust montage unfolds. Sparks hiss, coolant hammers pipe walls, sweat rivulets merge with grime. Liss calibrates resonance by ear, twirls dial no bigger than rice grain. Roan flux welds seem exact. Vic hauls generator cart, diverts power flow. No dialogue extends beyond clause. Gestures, nods, curt whistles serve. Micro-gestures accumulate. Grit brush from eyelid, share rag, shoulder tap warning of voltage spike. Cliff let drops. Steel access door clangs open above catwalk. Guards stomp, exosuits whir, searchlights sweep niches. Ring key hides inside Liss's clenched fist, heartbeat pounding against metal. Roan kills generator. Sudden hush magnifies distant boots, shallow breathing. Vic signals by cracking knuckle twice, alternative route flag. Boots halt, laser pointer schemes lower deck grill, hovers near fugitives. Liss cough smothers itself in sleeve. Guards calm squawk, urgent reroute call. Boots retreat, clang fades. Tension hangs raw. Silent hearth beat claims space. Stove coil rekindled low, broth simmers, bubbles sigh. Fan above them drones mellow. Warm vapor coats lungs, comfort sakes. Roan ladles soup into salvaged tin cap, hands it to Liss. Spoon trembles but she holds gaze steady, gratitude flickering behind caution. Vic chews dried root quietly, exhaling relief as shoulders loosen. Momentum returns. Vic guides duo through cordoned maintenance lane where disgruntled dockhands sort scrap under flicker white lamps. Whisper spreads. Girl purchased for rum, now crafting resonant tool. Faces hardened by forced overtime tilt toward possibility. Roan demonstrates ring key. Metal gate latch hums, lifts without signal code. Dockhands exchange charged looks. One spits, disdain for masters evident. Cora, 27, former cargo calibrator, steps forward, steel toe resting on chain coil. How many keys until patrol blind? Single clause, crisp. Liss answers, 7. Cora's half-smile gleams. Hard consonant verbs pulse. Chains clatter, crates thunk, rivets snap. Colors shift. Lamp glow morphs from sickly yellow to confident orange where workers gather. Micro gestures. Gloves tighten, eyes track solder arc, shoulders square. Each quiet scene bristles with tool competence. Wires rerouted, mag clamps jury-rigged, coolant valves sealed. Iterative intimacy rises. First aid bandages replaced, spare jacket draped over Liss, calloused hand squeezes hers once. Threat clock chimes anew. PA shriek announces port-wide lockdown sweep in 30 cycles. Roan studies plan etched on cargo wall. Coolant culvert leads to junkyard shipyard. Risk high but revolt appetite swelling. Workers nod in ripple. Alliance smolders bright. Generator hum underfoot deepens pitch, like heartbeat ready to sprint. Soup tin emptied, spoon clinks final time. Warmth lingers on cheeks, promise heavier than fear. Storeroom shadows lean forward, eager for part where price of one life ignites many. Molten slag whistles past scaffold mesh, splashing onto soaked gravel, heat haze nipping Liss's braid. One careless spark and lungs might char rumor of Dominion gunships prowling outskirts ride sulfur wind, daring fugitives to step wrong. Crow black sky presses low, clouds bruised purple by arc lamp glare. Rain stings like grit, hammering cargo husks piled 6 rows high, rivulets creeping along rust scars. Generators cough exhaust blue smoke, throbs gulping thunder deep into stacked container throat. Grapple cranes clank overhead, cables snapping taut then relaxing with tired sighs. Scent of burnt solvent swirls, fighting back tang of sea brine drifting from distant drydock. Everywhere light fragments on scrap metal scales, broken constellations dancing over puddles. Skittering rodents squeal inside coolant drums, seeking warmth. Spent welding rods litter mud like silver weeds after brushfire, beauty blooming in junkyard ugliness. Ferrous drizzle beads on Roan's lashes. Oily film warps vision, turning navigation into dreamwalk through labyrinth. Liss stays glued to his shadow, cloak plastered to shoulders, bare feet quick, sure. Vic's shoulders dented crate full of scavenged coils, stringy hair dripping black rivulets down cheeks. Market whispers of bounty grow louder, echoing through rigging as ghosts. Mara, 29, former blockade runner helmswoman. Steam plume escapes cargo vent as lithe woman emerges, trench coat patched with star charts. Blade scars criss-cross right temple, gaze flares ember bright on fugitive. Left hand lifts crimson flare, a silent halt. Roan palms torque wrench ready. Mara flips token stamped with triple moon sigil, gesture invites parley. Rain slick tarp stretched between derelict shuttles becomes makeshift ward. Mara spills hoarded chai into tin mugs, sliding first toward Liss. Warm cinnamon steam curls into chilled air. Child cups mug, fingers trembling then stilling as heat seeps bone deep. Roan studies Mara's craft. Cloak pockets heavy with NAV spheres, data chip. She trades spares for information. Roan offers resonant ring key. Mara peeks, pupils constrict, respect blooming. Mercy exchanged, pact sealed without oath. Coal bed warmth glows under inverted coolant pan, orange tongues licking scrap. Work commences. Vic hammers dent from fuel manifold. Roan files burrs from thrust vector pallet. Liss rewires burnt gyro, solder pops crisp, aroma of hot tin coating rain musk. Mara diagrams smuggler lane shifts on hull panel, chalk squeaking, route bending round Dominion Customs grid. Dialogue stays clip. ETA. Mara asks. Roan, dawn. Vic grunts affirmative. Hands move, tools clatter, rhythm syncing heartbeat. Hard consonant verbs dominate, clamp, crank, snap, hiss. Color plays mood. Arc blue spark followed by ember gold drip. Micro gestures thread intimacy. Mara arranges tarp to shield Liss from drizzle. Child wipes grid off Mara's chart. Vic splits protein loaf 4 ways, no words. Rain slackens, engine hums rise as night crews stir. Patrol sirens wail beyond scrapyard gate, red strobes pulsing across crane arms. Gunship rotors chop air, sending dust cyclones swirling. Guards fan out, hound drones skimming puddles, sensors sniffing heat. Mara kills lamp. Group melts into cargo canyon, stepping through toxic ferns of frayed wiring. Liss presses palm to crate wall, shears scrap panel free, forms mirrored surface scrambling drone optic. Roan wedges jammed sprocket into rail switch, misdirecting security floodlights. Vic heaves coolant drum, wedges gap, creating false trail. Sirens edge closer. Drone buzz crescendo clips nerves short. Vapor cloud bursts from pipe joint Liss cracked earlier, venting scalding steam across alley. Drone optics fog, tail rotor stalls, machine crashes into gear pile. Patrol curses, footsteps splash nearer. Group slides into bolt hole, hearts hammering. Uncertainty hangs heavy, rain restarting in cold needles. Tarp-roofed alcove brims with chemical warmth from idle space heater, hum soft as lullaby. Liss settles on crate, steam wreathing braid, cheeks flushing delicate lilac. Roan uncaps water flask, pours trickle into her mug. She sips slow, breathing cardamom. Heater thrum melds with distant thunder, world contracting to pocket of comfort. Silence breaks when dockhand gang filters from shadow, faces etched with grinder sparks, resentment feeding courage. Cora steps forward, holds out 7 data tags collected from shift readers. Mara scans them. Routes unlock inside NAV sphere. Alliance embers spread. Dockhands haul salvage carts, pack contraband fuel cells. Each cart loaded under Liss's direction, weight balanced perfectly. Together they push toward service rail spooling to Smuggler Lane. Crate wheels rattle over steel planks, showering sparks. Gunship passes overhead, search beam grazing hull top. Crew freeze, breath clouds. Light sweeps on. Movement resumes. Junction gate stands ahead, servo lock humming blue. Ring key slides into slot, harmonic pulse ripples along rails, gate jaws part without alarm. Dock hands exchange wide-eyed stares, undervalued life now unlocking futures. Thunder rolls, rain dwindles to mist. Convoy snakes into narrow causeway lit by green biolum paint smeared on walls, smugglers' breadcrumbs. Electric moss glimmers, guiding steps deeper. Mara leads pace, Roan flanks Liss, Vic hauls rear. Crates creak, lug nuts chatter. Fuel cell aroma, metallic sweet, mingles with damp stone. Edge of causeway opens to cavernous slip. Ancient freighter carcass refitted into refuge, hull pocked with patchwork plates glowing ember red from forge heat inside. Smuggler's mill, torsos swathed in weld leathers. Shouts bounce off bulkheads but laughter softer, hopeful. Passage deals sealed here for credits, favors, dreams. Warden Gata, 55, former astrophysics lecturer turned fence, greets Mara with curt nod. Negotiation sharp. Freight space traded for resonant charge blueprint lists scribbled on datapad. Gata's eyes widen at elegance. Agreement click. Dockhands slip aboard, stowing gear. Creak of ramp folding echoes, stillness before storm. Dominion intercept towers ping port perimeter, alerts escalate. Freighter engines cough, drive core woken after long hibernation, recoil sending tremor under boot. Patrol skiffs converge on slip mouth, their spotlights slice gloom. Metal shield doors grind closed behind hull but hydraulic stutter, jammed by rust. Roan sprints to console, curses under breath, prize panel. Liss dives beside, fingers flutter across copper bus, isolates seized piston. Vic tosses grease and pry bar. Hard wrench strikes housing, sludge spurts. Roan pumps manual lever, Liss arcs relay. Door slams shut just as skiff missiles screech overhead, blast wave rattling rivet. Darkness swallows cavern, only sporadic sparks dancing. Generator backup hum Lues, warm amber bulbs witch on. Heater hiss returns, faint broth aroma from crew galley drifting aft. Liss leans into Roan's side, exhaustion overtaking adrenaline. Mechanic's arm circles shoulders unconsciously. Engines throttle higher, hull vibration smoothing into confident purr. Outside, Dominion sirens fade, searching empty slip. Shared meal arrives. Lentil stew ladled into dented tins, steam spiraling upward. Crew settles among crate stacks, spoons clinking gentle rhythm. Heater hum, stew spice, ship's heart steady, momentary peace before next gauntlet. Stars beckon through cracked porthole, pinpoints glittering like fresh weld sparks, promise etched on black canvas. Cracked viewport glass pops under heat surge, shards trembling while raw alloy glows white. One misstep and hull might blossom into vacuum. Hyperion-class forge hangs limp in low orbit, exterior lights long dead, yet interior crucibles still breathe dull magma orange. Coil arrays circle chamber like fossilized serpents, scales flecked with verdigris. Cooling vents wheeze frost plumes. Each exhale drifts into gravity void then snaps back against steel ribs, hissing like caged cats. Spent thruster fuel paints decks with oily iridescence that shifts from peat green to bruised violet whenever arc torches spark. Drumbeat clang of far pumps fights with shrill, child-sized alarms that never found new batteries. Air tastes of iron rain and burnt plum wine. Roan, 38, former hull forge mechanic. Mercy glints when Roan slips his only heat-proof gauntlet over Liss's thin hand, insulation 3 sizes too large yet salvation against crucible scorch. Steam kisses her knuckles, she winces, nods thanks. Generator sputters. Liss tunes feed regulator by ear, copper coil thrumming until pitch lands on harmonic sweet spot. Liquid alloy settles into shimmering mirror, mercury laced with sapphire dust stolen from Dominion stockpiles. She sprinkles nano-seed crystals, pattern precise as prayer. Surface ripples once, stills, absorbs seeds without splash. Trust montage ignites. Vic drags hose, sluices deck grime into trench, sparks hiss on wet steel. Cora calibrates cooling matrix, fingers tapping valves. Click, click, sustained hiss, keeping pressure shy of rupture. Mara stalks mezzanine catwalk, shotgun resting on hip, eyes tracking radar blip. Roan ladles molten mix into graphite molds, lists carved with microplasma nib, edges cruelly sharp. Each ladle pour sings high note, metal meeting mold in sizzling ceremony. Humming grows deeper, chamber lights strobe amber, then stabilize. Team moves like single clock. Rotate molds, quench plates, measure resonance echo with cracked oscilloscope. Dialogue stays clip. Load, Liz says. Ready, Roan answers, handing her coil core. Seal, Cora mutters, slamming clamp. Cover, Mara calls from gantry. Threat rides elevator shaft. Dominion boarding skiff latches to forge hull. Magnetic grapple thud rattles gantries. Bulkhead sensors cough awake. Siren belches staccato. Gunfire chatter seeps through vent mesh. Ricochets ting off conduit pipe. Vic whistles 2 notes. Time to move. Liz palms finished charge. Disc barely wider than biscuit, humming like distant cello. She hands it to Roan. Weight feather light, promise heavy. Silent hearthbeat arrives in oxygen lull between firefight bursts. Glow from crucible dims to warm ember. Ambient fans hush. Liz exhales, chest flutter gentle as moth. Roan's rough thumb wipes soot from her cheek. Heat leaves faint rose flush where his skin brushes hers. For a breath, world contains only metal song inside molds and heartbeats counting possibilities. Alarm klaxon resumes, red strobes carving shadows. Roan straps charges into canvas satchel, voice low but steady. One life price cheap spark this, he says. Single clause, mission framed. Prove markets wrong. Liz nods, braid whipping as she spins toward exit. Crew hustles down ladder, boots clanging syncopated rhythm. Resonant charges jostle in bag, each pulse syncing with forge heartbeat. Embryonic rebellion ready to shred Dominion containment rings and appraisal ledgers alike. Gravity shift shutters deck. Boarding party torching hatch 5. Mara pops smoke mine, hallway swells with graphite fog. Roan leads crew through maintenance conduit. Liz follows, hand ghosting satchel as if shielding heartbeat within. Hard consonant verbs echo, clamp, smash, hiss, while color shifts to blood-red emergency glow painting corridors. Beyond final hatch, escape umbilical awaits, umber stripes glowing faint invitation to void run. Alloys cooling behind them settle with crystalline ping, like quiet applause for labor done. Forge lights fade, yet ember of rebellion now rides in satchel, ready to slice through Dominion's steel and valuation alike. Molten glare bursts through storm glass skylights before any bargain reaches the auctioneer's tongue. 2 heartbeats later, hot slag peppers velvet rugs, searing price tags into ash. Saffron search lamps roast pale fog that slithers across an imperial landing bay cantilevered above midnight ocean. Brass gong tones shock air every half-minute, herding bidders toward a dais lit wine red, their shadowed faces jeweled by portable hollow ledgers. Salt wind seeps through shield netting, braiding sea spray with incense smoke that curls from bronze sensors. Cable winches rumble overhead like distant kettle drums, each thud rattles suspended cages where shackled bodies sway in rhythmic misery. Neon ticker strips crawl appraisal numbers, flashing crimson whenever a cough or whimper devalues new merchandise. Somewhere aft, a choir of hydraulic pumps exhales in aching minor thirds, a machine lament disguised as background hum. This floating showroom feels less starship, more slaughterhouse masquerading beneath velvet. Ribs of the hull sweat condensate, droplets racing along rivet lines like panicked stock forced down chutes toward hot steel. Balcony railings glimmer chrome blue, catching reflected torches that hooded guards carry with gladiatorial pomp. Every surface screams opulence yet reeks of brine-soaked rot, Gilding cannot mask corrosion chewing arteries of the vessel. Hope hangs thinner than fog. Brask, 61, former iron hull privateer. Roan knuckles tighten around canvas satchel, resonant charges humming faint cello beneath patchwork coat. Liss edges nearer, eyes fixed not on Brask but on a bruised Yarthi boy tethered to rail by electro loop. Bread crust, pilfered earlier from galley, slides from her sleeve into the child's palm. He blinks, stomach shuddering around silent gratitude. Chain slackens a breath. Mercy tastes like yeast and courage. Hatches bloom open below deck. Vic hauls cable spools toward ventilation grid. Cora shadows him, clicking detonator housings into magnetic sockets. Mara prowls catwalk, shotgun angled downward. Crew language reduced to nods, taps, whistles. One clause answers carving plan into motion. Liss tunes each charge. Thumb brushes graphite shell, pulse pitch rises, settles. Roan stows discs under support beams flanking drive plasma coolant trunk. Weld torch spits quick sparks swallowed by roar of auctioneer's gong. Opening bid, 12 bottles gin, 10 rounds plasma, 1 emerald wafer. Brass trumpets, voice grinding through PA horns. Laughter rolls like falling scrap, drowning subtle footfalls of rebels. Guard patrol pivots down mezzanine. Armor joints rasp raw. Proximity sensor glows amber when scan beams lick heat blossom near Roan's knee. Cora lofts dropped rivet, clang echoes. Guard visor snaps left, chasing phantom. Scan resets. Uncertainty clings to recycled air. Smoke machines belch sandalwood haze. Hush descends as Brask unveils star attraction, a Rishan elder with amethyst skin, dignity shredded by rust collar. Bidders lean forward, credits eager. Roan's jaw flexes. Liss compresses lips until color fades. Charges pulse louder under floor grates, ticking conscience metronome. Hydraulic pop blinds moment. High-pressure coolant line bursts by coincidence, or Liss's earlier wrench, dousing aisle in frigid mist. Crowd recoils, chatter fractures. Beneath commotion, Roan thumbs arming stud. Tiny diode blushes emerald then dark. Hearth hush settles inside auxiliary maintenance recess, shielded by stacked grav crate. Exhaust fan murmurs lullaby. Ozone and cardamom tea drift from a forgotten service kettle still warming porter's lunch. Liss's fingertips graze Roan's as she passes final disc. Breath synchronizes with fan's steady exhale. Alarm klaxon chops air. Brask shouts for evac protocol yet refuses to cancel sail. Gold braid quivers against bulk chest. Guards herd bidders toward shuttles moored beside hull column, leaving cages half-guarded. Charge sequence reaches apex. Deck plates under dais hum. Copper resonance floods superstructure. First disc shears containment ring. Burst of white-hot sparks jets upward, slicing auctioneer podium like paper. Brask's roar dies under shrieking metal as flagship keel trembles. Secondary charges blossom. Molten alloy geysers through grating, raining ashfall across velvet walkway. Rich garments ignite, bidders scramble, screaming. Cage doors drop. Chains melt into glowing loops on deck. Yarthi boy darts free, limbs wild. Captives surge, torrent of limbs and hope, sprinting under smoke veil toward hangar bay. Vic plows path, lug wrench smashing sensor node. Cora drags 2 elder miners by belt. Mara pumps shotgun, slug shatters locking bar on cargo lift. Roan and Liss spearhead rush. Canvas satchel empty now, coat flaring behind mechanic like soot wing. Children cling to his belt strap, following beacon of firm strides. Liss vaults instrument crate, flips breaker. Hangar blast doors yaw open to salt air night. Alarm sirens merge with wave roar below hull. Docked freighters rock at mooring posts, systems idling for rapid turnover of freshly purchased labor. Freed prisoners swarm gangways, override codes with brute force and stolen badges. Engines cough to life one by one, the sound of ledgers bleeding value. Brask stumbles on fractured dais, coat ablaze. Molten ceiling shard whistles down and punches through console, sparks showering his gaze. Ash snowflakes drift, settling on silk sleeves as price tags burn to nothing. Roan slaps flight deck intercom, voice measured. Worth recalculated. One clause, final arithmetic. Freighter thrusters boom, hull tears free from clamps, starboard wingtip slashing banner that once declared fair trade. Liss stands beside helm chair, cobalt eyes reflecting blossoming fireball where grand auction was. Ship noses toward black horizon. Behind fleeing convoy, flagship superstructure folds inward, fiery petals closing over marketplace of human measure. Ashfall drifts across ocean's swell, embers of valuation dying in saline air. Ash still clings to boots as engines drive a stolen freighter through a rupture of star-white glare. Behind that closing wound, molten hulls sink beneath briny dark. Jump initiators hum louder, pulling cabin lights into quivering halos. Ozone mingles with broth steam left forgotten in metal cups, while salt crust sweat dries on cheeks blackened by soot. Grav plates stutter, tugging stomachs toward floor grids smeared with spilled coolant that reflects aurora ribbons pouring through cockpit glass. Far bulkheads shiver under acoustic booms of companion craft kicking hard toward light spin funnels, each flash branding retinas with brief after images of cages torn open. Kai 9, former quarry porter. A patched blanket lands across his shoulders, gift from Liss. Tiny fingers smooth fabric once, twice before retreating. Pulse steadies under wool warmth. Roan adjusts thrust vector, calloused knuckles tapping brass levers until engine pitch drops from growl to purr. Cabin noise fades enough to hear water drip from overhead conduit, one lazy beat every 4 heart count. Mercy grows practical. Vic clears corridor debris, stacking torn chains beside fuse crates. Cora checks life support filters, hands darting quick as sparrows. Liss kneels over valve cluster, solder nib sparking, copper scent filling air. Roan recalibrates jump vectors by starlight triangulation, one eye on coolant temp needle. Dialogue stays lean. Pressure. Cora calls. Stable, Liss replies. 15 seconds, Roan adds, thumb poised on actuator. Metal groan ripples along hull. Proximity alarm hiccups. Dominion patrol beacon sweeps fringe space. Mara slides into gun chair, eyes narrow, gun coolant gauge ticking up. Shields cycle, vents hiss cobalt vapor, threat running fingers along freighter spine. Sensor graph spikes then smooths as convoy veers behind meteor shoal, beacon fading. Uncertainty lingers like sour copper on tongue. Cabin lights dim to amber hush. Kettle on galley coil resumes soft sputter. Steam curls upward, painting ghost whirls against low ceiling. Bread crust halves toast on engine manifold, aroma of yeast and carried cinnamon wrapping tired lungs. Liss passes roasted piece to Kai. Smile flickers unsteady, settles when kid's teeth break crust. Roan exhales, shoulders easing, palm brushing Liss's braid in silent thanks. Jump countdown flickers green. Mara's voice drops. Window now. Roan toggles actuator. Stars stretch into liquid silver, smear across viewport, vanish. Ship plunges into hyperspace corridor. Walls of violet flux rumble, decks vibrate steady bass. Inside hold, freed souls cheer raw throats, some laugh, some weep into grease-stained sleeves. Echo travels through ductwork, riding engine drone, slipping into comm relays. Comm's console crackles. Pirate frequency bursts with chatter from rim posts. Rumor of slaver fleet gutted by ashfall detonation, origin traced to a single sail priced at rum and egg. Names lost in fire yet message rings clear. Markets mispriced life, revolt corrected ledger. Signal hops station to station, gathering myth skin, growing wings. Galley light swings on cable, casting slow pendulum across faces bent over stew pot. Roan ladles thick bean broth, hands first bowl to Liss. Steam fogs visor glass of salvaged helm perched on bulkhead hook, silent trophy. Bread passes again, fingers brush, warmth lingers. Engine vibration softens to lullaby. Nobody speaks grand vows. Rustle of blankets, clink of spoons, hush of hyperspace wind carry promise enough. Bulkhead heater clicks steady rhythm, matching heartbeats finding calmer cadence. In that glow, Lys lets eyelids flutter closed, chin resting above folded arms. Roan watches, shoulders squared, mouth set yet gentle. Soft crumb lands in Kai's palm once more. Kid tucks it away for dawn he believes will arrive. Cabin settles under low hum, metal skin cradling bruised spirits moving toward uncharted free ports where no caller waits. She'll be born free.